Hello, hello, my love. Welcome. This is going to be your witches healing and reading. This first part of the video will be the reading, and then I will probably do a second video, which will be the healing portion. So I have everything ready to go. I did ask Spirit if anything followed you home. And the tarot card that fell out is the Tower. So that confirms to me that yes, something did come home with you. The energy of something came home. It's nothing to be afraid of, but we will definitely get to the bottom of it. So let's go ahead and open space. Just as you're following along with this video, I just ask that you watch it in a time and space and mindset energy when you're not anxious and you're not scared. Be open-minded and be in a space where you're calm and you're not distracted. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my candle. Let's go ahead and light some Palo Santo. Palo Santo is really, really good to cleanse the space, and it also replaces that energy with positivity. So we're going to open the space with that intention of only what we allow to come through. So Spirit, as you know, when my candle is lit, this is a sacred space. So I only want to connect with the energies that are connected to my client. Okay, so only my client, Karina. I just want to connect with her spirit team and any spirits that came home with Karina and her friend. And this sacred space, I designate it, it's a space of peace, love, protection. No harm, no negativity is allowed. And when I blow out the candle, it symbolizes the closing of our sacred circle. And you must go back to where you came. Okay. So, my love, the Tower card, when I asked that question of did Spirit follow you home, the Tower card shows me that yes, I feel like this is the gateway, like the opening of Spirit entering into your sacred space, your heart, your body, your mind. It's created a little bit of I don't want to say negativity, but I feel like with the Tower, it creates almost like an anxiety. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and talk to Spirit. And I want to pull these cards with the intention of, Spirit, you speak to me through the cards. Okay, and I just want to know the energy of what your purpose is. Why did you follow Karina home? What messages do we have? Let's just fill me with some messages to give to my client about the situation. And then also, my love, when I was writing down your question, I was kind of going into a little meditation where I was literally asking Spirit, how did this happen? Like, how did they follow you home, right? So what I get is I feel like you stepped into a portal, okay? Now, portals are everywhere. They're all over the place in the world, whether it's opened because people played the Ouija and they didn't know how to properly open circle and close it. A portal space can be opened from just a massive amount of energy. So places with like high energy or trauma energy. It could be good portals. It could be negative portals. But they're all over the world. So technically, the chances of us walking through a portal at once in our lifetime is very, to me, in my opinion, very common. So Spirit is everywhere, okay? If you had the ability to see Spirit with your naked eye, you would see them everywhere. They're all over the place. They're in your room, they're they're at home, they're at work, they're on the street, they're everywhere, right? But when they attach themselves to us and when they follow you home and they don't necessarily belong to your inner circle, your spirit team, which is your guides, your loved ones in spirit, your ancestors, but you have like a rogue spirit, right? Like a hitchhiker who came on and followed you home, it's usually because there is some sort of energetic connection that they have with you based on their story and their life, or there's something that piqued their interest with you, or they were literally invited to come home with you. Okay, so I do feel like you guys stepped through a portal when you were at that. I think you wrote my notes. You went to a haunted bar in New Mexico. So there was definitely probably a lot of high energy in that space. And then, when you go to a physical public attraction where it's haunted, those people go into it with fear, and fear will raise that, energetic vibration. So that's just to kind of give you an idea of what happened. So we have candle magic coming up. Okay. So candle magic and greet the darkness. And I love that. So candle magic makes me wonder, did you guys in the tour or in the bar, or did you and your friend afterwards, was there the process of lighting candles? Was there like a seance type thing? Did you welcome in spirit? Was there some kind of reading that went on? The message of candle magic is: speak your breath into its velvet, recite along its spine all that you desire, all that will unravel. And then the greet the darkness is: here where the spine bends at the mouth quivers, breathes the pieces that make you whole, but cut deep with all their sharp edges. It's a very poetic deck, but the thing I'm noticing right now is they both have 9s, okay? You have number 9 and number 19, okay? What is the Tower? 15? No, it's number 16, okay. And we're kind of talking too about the spine comes up in both cards, which is really interesting to me. And your spine is the part of your body that holds you up. It gives you strength. It gives you confidence. That's your spine. It's the energetic area in your body of confidence and strength and holding yourself up. Okay. So I'm kind of wondering if spirit sees your energy as confident or abundant. They were attracted to something about you. Maybe it reminded them about someone that they used to know in the living, right? It's interesting. So we'll go further into this. Let's keep going. So message of warning, interesting, and calm. Okay. So it's kind of, you have this balance of light and dark with the cards. Light card, dark card. A warning message, calm energy. When you go into a space that is presumed to be haunted and you go in it with this expectation that you're going to see something that is going to scare you, you open yourself up and you're welcoming that energy in, okay? That's why they say when you do the Ouija and stuff, you're supposed to open space, you're supposed to be grounded, you're supposed to take it seriously. Like when people go and do it as like a game, or they're just, oh, I don't want to get scared, oh, we're gonna see something, like that energy fuels right? It's very magnetic, okay? And spirit who is lost, or like a rogue spirit, they're lost, they're haunting a space. They're not necessarily evil. They're just lower vibration. They're sad. They're confused. They are purposeless. They choose not to go to the light. And so the fear, they feed off of that. Okay. Just like a person, if you're friends with someone who is energetically draining, they are energy vampires. If you've ever heard that term, they suck your energy and you just feel so exhausted after you hang out with them. That's the same thing as when you step into a portal of a lower vibration energy of spirit. And if you go into that portal with your heart expecting to see something, or expecting to be afraid, or expecting to be followed home, you're almost welcoming that energy. Okay. So I do feel like greeting the darkness, these lower vibrational spirits, they're not evil, but they're lower vibration. They're just not on a higher, they're not happy. They're usually upset. There's something that they went through or whatnot. that greeted them. It literally, you welcomed it. Okay. And the candle magic makes me wonder if there was some sort of seance, reading, lighting a candle, like welcoming that energy. Maybe you guys didn't mean to do it, but it happened, right? So just think about that. Now, the calmness to me and the warning I feel is this kind of shows me your energy right now. It's almost like maybe you're starting to see a separate part of your personality come out. You're not quite yourself. Maybe you've been feeling anxious. Maybe you've been feeling tense or angry. So ask yourself, how have you been feeling emotionally since you went to this particular space? Because I feel like the warning with the calm, it's kind of spirit is like showing you, if you're not feeling like yourself, that's common for a spirit attachment. The spirit attachment is draining you of your natural energy and you're not yourself, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. But that's what I'm getting with that. Okay, so some of the tarot cards about this. We have the Four of Pentacles, we have the Eight of Pentacles, and the Hermit. So I do kind of see this as spirit is kind of saying like they latched onto you. To me, this is like the card of showing me that you have a spirit attachment. They attached themselves to you, probably to your friend as well. Maybe they like I said, they saw something that attracted them to you. They felt welcomed and they went home with you. Okay. The Eight of Pentacles shows me that you will be able to remove this spirit. I'll guide you through the process of it, but you'll be able to remove yourself from it. You're just going to have to put in a little bit of the work towards it. And then the Hermit is, what lessons have you learned from as a result of this? I also feel like the light has been illuminated. Okay. This is like this awakening process that has happened to you and probably to your friend. Because I wrote in my notes from what you said that now you're seeing and hearing things. Did we attract spirits and brought them home? So the fact that you are now awakened to the spirit realm is not, it's not surprising. Okay, so I definitely see the Hermit card is showing you've allowed yourself to open up because you stepped into a space, a portal space, an energetic space, a high space of spirit, and you open yourself up to that world. Once you open yourself up to the world, you can close yourself off to it to an extent, but you will never be able to close it completely. And that's kind of like one of the things, like when people want to learn to connect with spirit and mediumship, they have to realize once you open yourself up to the spirit world, it's almost like you can't close the door fully, right? You can do things to protect yourself and you can do things to almost block it out, but you will always have that sensitivity. It's like you can't forget it. Like how you can't forget to ride a bike. It's the same thing. So welcome to the world of spirit. And definitely it's nothing to be afraid of, but I do feel like, yes, everything you're experiencing is as a result of being open to, the card is showing it as the darkness. But you know, that's just the cards. Okay, let's pull into, let's go a little bit deeper with this. So let's go into a message of spirit. Let's get a connection to spirit, actually. So now I want to pull from spirit. So I want to hear from the spirit energy. So I'm going to go ahead and just allow myself to kind of tune in. Can I have spirit come forward that is in connection to Karina? Okay, so as soon as I asked that, my throat started to feel itchy, which is the connection to communication. Let's see. There's a lot of brown coming up in their energy. Like I see the color brown. That to me is... like brown to me is very earthy. It's very foundation, the root. I do feel like there was a murder I'm not sure if you guys got the history of spirit from this particular space that you went to, but if you know the history of it, or maybe, you know, they talked about it in that space, was there a murder, right? I do feel like this is actually a female. Okay. I do feel like this was a female, at least one of them. I feel like there's at least two. You know what she's kind of giving me this feeling of? And let me pull some more cards. She gives me this feeling of protection. Like, she's showing me the portal first, which is what you stepped through. She saw and was attracted to your energetic spine, your confidence, your ability to kind of be in your power. And then she shows me this energy of protection. Like, she felt almost like protected or at home with you. Okay. The love card is coming up, and then the repression is coming up. And I feel like this is kind of like her story of, I feel like she, you know, obviously, like I'm saying, she was murdered or something happened to her. And it could have been, honestly, it could have been by a lover. And I guess this is something you would have to ask yourself, you and your friend. Have either of you gone through a near-death experience or a really tragic situation with a lover that was almost maybe not obviously not to the point where they were going to hurt you, like take your life, but a very abusive situation, okay? There's some sort of attachment that this spirit had with that. She shows the nature spirits on your toes, twirl and twirl until you're ready to take flight. They arrive in the winds beneath your wings and speak through the swing of the trees. I like that this card kind of shows her in bed. I do feel like she was definitely taken advantage of, murdered. She was probably raped. There's some kind of setting here with her bed. And she's all over the place. Like, to me, her energy is very, like I said, with the brown, it's very earthy. And it's interesting that it says nature spirits. So she's kind of very much in earth energy. Okay, let's see what else you want to say. Yeah, and then the throat, too. I don't know if that was being strangled, but I felt that first prickle in my throat when I first started to ask her to come through. Oh my gosh. See? Okay. Hang on. Let's see. The child. Wow. Candle. See? The candle. Something with the candle happened. Ladder. Door. Moon. Okay. This looks, it's not a spine, but when I first saw it, it looked like a spine to me. And I was like, holy crap, right? But this is poison and child. That's probably why I feel like there's two of them. It was probably her and her baby. Maybe she was pregnant. Maybe her child was murdered as well. It was like a mother and I want to say it was like a son. And then you have candle. The connection. And it's interesting too because the candles are here in the background as well. They're all over the place. So whatever took place, whatever you guys did, or if a candle was lit or there was some sort of, you know, sacred circle, open space, there's a portal, it was never closed. And to me, I use candles to open sacred space when I do readings. And I always tell spirit, when I blow the candle out, the space is closed, you have to go back to where you came. So I do feel like her portal has been open. And I do think that she kind of felt at home with you. For some reason, there was something that she could relate to with your energy. Okay? The ladder and the door, that's to me like an escape. To climb up the ladder to get out through the door. To me, I feel like she felt like she could get out of her cycle of, you know, being trapped. She saw a doorway opening. You were a doorway for her to get out. So she doesn't mean you harm. But I do feel like there's this need to be safe. I need to feel safe, right? And then you have the moon. Think back on your visit. Was it a full moon? What was the moon phase at that time? Was it a full moon or a new moon? Was it a very powerful moon during that time you guys were there? Because the heightened energy of that, moons heighten the energy of spirit. Okay. Very powerful. Let's see what else we can get. Let's look at the tarot cards. What is the dark entity that my client, that Karina and her friend saw in their hotel room? What was the dark entity? Was that you? Six of Pentacles and Strength. You know, she was actually protecting you against it. Who was the dark entity? The Eight of Cups. The person she's trying to get away from. That makes sense too with the door and the ladder. So perhaps as her energy came to you, she brought with her energy that's attached to her, right? It's like a cycle. And the one that is attached to her is probably the person who killed her. Probably the person who took advantage of her. It was probably an ex-lover or somebody that was perceived to be a lover, but maybe they weren't, right? Someone who caused harm to her. Interesting. Okay. So my love, I will definitely say it's nothing to be afraid of. And I think that your perception of, you know, feeling fearful with it it's normal. Like, it's spooky, right? You also are going to a haunted location at a time where the veil is thinning. That spirit interaction is very powerful. So just be aware. But the chances of walking through a portal, I would be surprised if we didn't walk through one at least once a month, you know? So just be aware, like, it happens. Now, what can we do? Like, so let's ask Spirit. So what is it that you want? What can we do for you before we set you free? Is there anything that we can do for you before we set you free? Chiromancy and the man. Wow. Anything else, my love? This one. The pot. Okay. Let's look at the tarot cards. I'm going to use my haunted deck. Anything else we could do for you before we set you free? Anything else you want to say? There it is, the Tower. The Eight of Swords. She wants to be set free. The Ten of Pentacles. She wants to be put to rest. The Empress. The Four of Swords. Ten of Cups. The Star. The Four of Cups. She came with you. And then the Ace of Swords. That's the communication card. She came to you, my love, because she knew the connection made where you... So, okay, the spirit is very intelligent. They know who... They look at mediums as lighthouses, right? So I feel like she followed you because she knew your connection to readers, whether me or if you went to any other reader, has the ability to help her, okay? So it's no coincidence that this happened and then now you're booking a reading with me and here I am doing this for you, okay? So this is for her. She wants out. She wants to be free from her turmoil. I feel like her grave, the pot, I feel like it's like she wants to be put to rest, right? Maybe she wasn't at rest for whatever reason, whether her grave was tampered with that Tower card. You have the Ten of Pentacles, but it shows the coffins and it's open. So maybe her gravesite was tampered with. Maybe she just hasn't been able to be at rest. That Eight of Swords shows she's just been in this like mental turmoil. She wants to be at peace. I feel like it has a lot to do with this man. Interesting, right? That the Man card came out. He doesn't let her rest. He haunts her. And then the chiromancy card, which is the ability to read palms. I don't see it as palm reading. I see it as a hand. Him putting his hands on her. He touched her. He manipulated his love for her. He took advantage of her. He probably raped her. He probably hurt her. He strangled her. His hands, his imprint is on her. And it hasn't let her rest in peace. Okay? So very, very powerful message with that. And I do feel like the pot with the flower is kind of just symbolic for she wants new life to be replanted. She wants to be put to rest. Her cards here, down here, we have the Empress, which is the mother card. Look at how the alien is being born as like literally coming out of the mother's womb. I feel like there was some unfortunate event with her baby. I feel like she died pregnant and she just couldn't be at peace with that. He haunts her. The Four of Swords, again, this is her not being in peace. Her coffin is open. It's like she just can't be put to rest, right? The Ten of Cups is looked at in the Rider-Waite. The Ten of Cups is looked at as the happy ending in the family card. So I see that energy as like she didn't have her happy ending. She didn't have the chance to even give birth to her baby. And I feel like maybe she sees that beauty in you or your friend. I don't know, maybe does your friend have a child, or there's some connection she was able to relate to you guys. And she wanted to live through that with you, right? The Star card, look at that. There's the Ouija board on there. There's the candles. I feel like the Star card also resembles healing. She knew by following you home that she would be able to be connected to someone you knew that could do this, which is, the process with me. So I do feel like she hasn't been able to be put at rest. That Ouija board makes me feel like people try to connect with her constantly. And instead of helping her be passed on and move on to the light, they try to connect with her to talk to her as a haunting, as a joke, as a game, right? And then you have the Four of Cups, the platter with the Four of Cups. She doesn't want any harm to you. She just was looking for a way to be at peace. And the Shadow card, the Ace of Swords, to be finally put to rest. The Swords is the connection of communication, to communicate that, Very powerful. It's like straight, like full blown, like this is what she wanted. So we're going to do that. We're going to do a cleanse next. So what I want you to do, my love, is the second part of the video. Before you play it, I want you to put yourself in a space where you will not be disturbed. Sit down or lay down. If you have a crystal, like if you have anything black, tourmaline, obsidian, jet, any black crystal or a smoky quartz, or even just regular quartz, the clear quartz. If you don't have any of those, but you have like a rose quartz, it doesn't matter what crystal, but just have a crystal that you can hold on to. If you don't have crystals, maybe if you have like an object that feels peaceful to you, that makes you feel protected, so a rosary, or maybe it's like a piece of clothing or a stuffed animal, something that you use that you would look at as protection, okay? Grab it so you have it with you, and then have some earbuds or headphones that you can tune in. And I'm going to guide you through a cleanse, and we're going to go through allowing spirit to be released. And you can also let your friend listen to the video too, so they could do the same thing. But yeah, I will see you there in part 2.